Hey friends, welcome back to the channel, and this is going to be a fun video where I share some insights into my year, the goals that I set out to achieve this year, and why I think I haven't achieved them as I wanted to, and how I will actually make changes to avoid the same mistakes the next year. With that in mind, I created a system in Notion that I will use from now on whenever I have to decide on something important, to make sure that I not get carried away that easily. Because I can only speak for myself, but I'm a very passionate person and I love new ideas. So it sometimes is so hard for me to say no to exciting projects that I actually end up getting carried away and not focus on the goals that I was actually focusing on. This year was a year that really showed me why it is so important to have focus on one goal. So I really want to leave you with value in this video. I sometimes feel, and that's mainly the case right now in December, I feel like I'm stuck because I'm just like not pursuing the things that I do for as long as I need to really get good at something, if that makes sense. And I also feel like a lot of people are struggling with the same emotions as I do. If you felt the same way before, I think this is gonna be a great help for you. So let's dive in. Alrighty, so let's jump into Notion and I'll quickly show you through the thoughts behind the steps in the template, so you can start and fill it out right away. At first, there is the opportunity snapshot. This is just a nice little section to kind of like have top of mind thoughts, and like the very basic things like opportunity name, description of the opportunity that came your way, who's involved. That also could be with a founder or a friend. Why did this show up? That's also like good reflection point. At what time and why did it show up? So you can also like analyze what led up to this opportunity, which gives you more insights into progress that you've made. Why did this show up? I think that also gives you a good perspective on the patterns, like which you might have done well, and why is this actually coming up right now? Is it like because you did some work prior to this and this is paying off now and that's why the opportunity is coming? That could be a very good case and also interesting to look back on. Then the initial gut feeling, I feel like this is something that you shouldn't be thinking about too much, just like put it all in here. So let's come to alignment check, values, vision, and lifestyle. So this is by far the most important one, where you can kind of like reflect on the lifestyle fit, creative alignment, energy match, identify fit, and skill alignment. So here what you will do is rate it from 1 to 5, and you will see later on that actually the rating gives you great clarity in the further steps. So I highly encourage you to do this and then go over the deal breakers. If any, it's gonna be automatic no. Like, you don't want to start any new venture, idea, business, whatever it is, without where you have to compromise any of those steps. So that's like wrong business model for your future. So that really indicates that you have already a great idea of where you want to go in the future. I will not cover this in this video, but this might be a good idea to cover in a future video. So if you're interested, just let me know and I'll see if I can do something good about it. Depends on partners I don't fully trust. That's an important one. Always make sure that also your gut feeling is very aligned. The vision that you have distracted me from my core goals. This was one of the huge mistakes that I've made this year. It feels like overdone everything, where I couldn't put up the time to create YouTube videos, which was one of my main goals for this year. So that's a huge takeaway for me. It's like maybe less is better after all, but yeah, some people just need to learn that the hard way, I guess. Me. Pushes me into a lifestyle I don't want. That's also suggesting that you reflect on the lifestyle you want to live, and that's very important. So then you'll just add your alignment score down here. So we move further to the strategic fit, the logic check, financial upside. Just give it some spontaneous ratings. Don't spend too much time in here. Time requirement per week. Opportunity cost, that means the costs that you will have to put into the idea straight away before it even like kind of starts. For example, like buying a camera if you want to start content creation. Then the risk level, low, medium, or high. Just delete the two that don't match. Leave the one that you would describe it as. You have your leverage score here, and then the reflection questions. And like the realistic best case scenario should really be something that you think is achievable. Also think about the realistic worst case scenario in case of a lot of upfront cash that you have to put in, for example, or like expensive gear that will use a lot of value, for example. And then we move on to how long until I know if this is working. So this holds you accountable for setting a deadline and a timeline for you to be working on this project or venture or whatever it is actually. What measurable outcome will validate success? So this is the one for, like, let's take YouTube for example, is like if you try to monetize your course or system or product through YouTube traffic, what measurable outcome will validate success? Then the metric would be how much of the products do I sell through the traffic that I generate with YouTube. So that would be that one metric, the conversion rate, for example. But it could be anything else. It really depends on what you're trying to think about. And then as well, you have strategic score average. We're moving on to motivation check. Brutally honest, I think that's the case with all the questions that you answer here, because the only person you can fool is yourself. Why do I really want to do this? Am I doing this because I feel like quick money? This could have saved me a lot of time where I, for example, went on to do a job in consulting that just like, if I'd done these steps before and I've answered the questions, like honestly, I wouldn't have even questioned if this would have been a good idea or not. So hugely powerful question. Am I doing this because someone else wants me to? Also, like, reflect on this. Does my ego want this more than my future self does? Beautiful question. Am I avoiding a harder but better path? And this has been so true for me, where I have just been laying off the YouTube videos so much so that I felt completely lost in a way, where I just was like, man, this was the one thing I really wanted to get done this year and I just didn't do it. So yeah, that's for sure something I will not be taking lightly in the future. So please don't do that as well. Resources and capacity check. This as well, I won't go into all the details here, but it's the same exercise. Decision frame, binary output. So here you combine the alignment, strategic, and capacity scores from above into a forced decision rule. So you never again overthink or emotionally justify a bad decision. Alignment score. So you put in the score here, you see 25 points is maximum. If alignment score is under 10, it's an automatic no. And you need to be honest with yourself here. Doesn't matter if the money looks great, the upside is huge. If it doesn't align with your lifestyle, freedom, or long-term identity, drop it. I already learned this the hard way, and I really mean that. Strategic score is the same thing. Capacity score, the self-protection filter. I call this a filter because that was the main issue with my idea as well, was that like it takes me a lot of time to reflect and really figure out what I want to create YouTube videos about. Everything else that I put on my plate is just kind of like a big distraction in a way, because you kind of get into the rhythm of thinking about new videos, for example. But then as soon as you add more stuff, it's like such a huge mental like weight almost, that you find it so hard to focus on the thing that takes a lot of time anyway. So it's like a filter to look through. It's either a yes, a no, or a test. And if you test it, I would recommend to test it at least for 30 to 90 days. Really depends on what you're thinking about trying. I had to put that phrase in here. It's actually a quote from the book Grit. And I just love how she actually had a hard thing rule that she follows with her family. And one of the first rule is you can't quit, but not in the middle. You must see your commitments through to a natural stopping point. Like, for example, end of season, course, contract, not just quit on a whim or bad day. That's why I would never set yourself a limiter that is below 30 days. So really depends on what you're doing. It could be a lot longer. I'm in a stretch right now where it takes me 6 months. That's just like something that helps me to kind of like not stop or not quit when it gets hard, just to kind of keep you motivated. And like from the beginning, if you commit, like I always love to commit to something, like fully commit, like fully get all of your time in and see where it goes. So that's like the quickest way to validate if something is a good idea, bad idea, and then you can test it. You see what helps you, what it like. You really get to test it, and that's like the best practice in my opinion, is just to really get your feet on the ground, like see what works, what doesn't, why is it working, why isn't it working, is that something for me, can I stick with it, like all these things, they just like kind of get in there. The rest is kind of self-explanatory. This is a template. I will provide it for you for free. I hope this helps. Anyway, guys, this was it for this video. I hope you found something valuable. At least for me, I will implement the system from now on whenever I have a new decision that I want to make and I'm not that sure, or it's just a big commitment, or I want to take it seriously. I just take these steps and ask myself these questions to make sure that I'm not going into something that, might not be a good match for me. So if you enjoyed this video, I would love for you to comment something down below, maybe something that stick with you or how you like it. I would highly appreciate you following me. I say, let's see you in the next one.